Good day everyone, so I'm going to be running a C0 Yae and obviously an F2P sort of Fischl build, and we'll see if we can get 9 stars in these spiral bursts. Now of course the Kakura's Verity in the background might be a sore spot for some people, but you'll see that we'll have more than enough time on the clock such that even if I did switch to a Witsif, I don't think it really would have mattered. In any case, all of my other units are relatively underbuilt for this sort of scenario, so in my opinion, the fact that this entire video is less than 9 minutes long and that we've comfortably have more than enough extra time in each of these spiral burst chambers sort of tells me that if as an F2P, above look at that nice visual build, 50 to 100, as an F2P, if you follow the strategy, and I think if you're very highly skilled, you should be more or less be able to replicate what I did here, and hence you'll be able to have a decent team to help clear these spiral bursts. And I didn't joke when I said the rest of my team is not as well built as Yae, but I mean this is all about Yae. So basically, what is up with this team? Why did I choose this really funky weird team? Well, basically it has been shown theoretically by the computers and so on that this should be one of the highest DPS teams. According to, like, if you define certain mathematical standards and assumptions and so on, this team should be very, very near the top of the list. And obviously the computer itself can do stuff like frame perfect shots, and this is the key to this team. You want to get those critical hits with Tighnari's charged attacks. In other words, if you didn't know, in Genshin Impact, if your bow users land a critical hit, let's say on the enemy's weak spot, typically on the head and so on, the hit is guaranteed to be a critical hit. So in my case, as you saw in the build section, I put as much crit damage as possible onto Tighnari, and hopefully, well, obviously skill is going to be one thing. I'll try my best to hit as many of the enemy's critical spots as possible so that we can get, you can see it right there, I mean you just get like maximum damage. And this is the fun thing about this team. You have the continuous aggravate, because obviously with the quicken reaction, all you need to do is you just need to apply Dendro and then obviously Electro, and then you have that aura on for about 8 seconds. You don't need to reapply either of the elements, and this is where Fischl and Yae sort of really like that, because Fischl obviously with, I think, I can't remember, I think it's one of her talents or constellations, she triggers like additional AoE electro damage, so she really benefits from the aggravate damage. Yae with her elemental burst gets like 3 hits in, which all apply electro, so you get a full aggregate hit on her burst, and obviously each one of her totems after 3 hits, well, you kind of still get like the aggravate. It's so strong, and of course Sucrose is there for grouping and shredding enemy resistance. So all in all, if you really think about how this team sort of works, it's actually kind of a very nice team. It's such a good one. You've got the taunt, you group up the enemies, and then you sort of hit all the aggravate and sort of spread reactions on them, and it's pretty good. The only problem with a team like this is it's very difficult to play. Difficult in the sense that you need to be very fast in terms of managing your cooldowns, which I'm not doing. You need to be very fast in how you hit those headshots with Tighnari, and it's a team that I cannot play perfectly. Very far from it, as you can see in the background. But it's certainly been a very different way of playing the characters, and obviously my very negative assessment of Tighnari has obviously changed, because I can actually now sort of see, because well, I knew that he was like sort of a spread DPS like sort of character, but I never really sort of envisaged like how to actualize that potential until I saw this team. So this is not my team I sort of thought of, and I think, yeah, this is sort of definitely makes it quite cool. So hopefully in the future, and well, we know I'm going to lose the 50-50 on the Hida's banner and so on, hopefully we can get Tighnari on the main account, and that'll be like so awesome, because then I'd be very interested to see what we can do with like a bit more investment, because on this account I just don't have the investment. Like, the sacrificial bow is literally all that I have. I mean, obviously I can use Yuemiya's what's it, Thundering Pulse, but I think that might just be pushing the envelope a bit too much, so I wanted to keep this all to be F2P-ish as much as possible. Now, speaking of F2P, if you've noticed in the background, I tried my best to get the team on the first half to sort of mimic this team's time. Generally, I think that's a good idea, so it does sort of show you that this team can indeed clear the entire spiral burst with 9 stars and so on. Generally for Magu Kenki, I did not give this team the full, I think it was like 9 minutes or 8:58. I think any team that can clear Magu Kenki in about 1:45, so as you saw the clock was about 8:45, should be more than good enough for an F2P on an F2P standard. So yeah, this is sort of how I ran it. As you can see, once again, me making lots of gameplay mistakes here with Magu Kenki, and obviously those little critical hits on Tighnari doing like quite a bit of damage, so that's kind of awesome to see. That aggravate from Yae, just so strong. If we can just crit, that's just the one thing that my Yae here is lacking. Look at that, 17k. This is exactly what you want to do with Tighnari. So you don't need to worry about building crit rate. It's just so good. Alright, yeah, so getting back to where we were, yeah, pretty comfortable clearing times here with Magu Kenki, about 1 minute. Okay, about 1 minute, let's be honest, 1 minute 15, whatever. Alright, let's not overblow it. It's pretty decent, okay-ish for an F2P team of this level, so I'm kind of really happy. And to be honest, on this final floor I was just messing around, so I've got no real insights here. Typically for an F2P team you want to aim for about 9:05. I've seen, well, looking at other content creators and other people that do abyss runs, 9:05 seems to be like the sort of lower bound for an F2P team. Obviously we're going to do it a bit faster. But yeah, and then we'll obviously go to the final boss and I can make some more criteria. And yeah, I must say, very happy with Fischl, very happy with Yae. One of the things I said months ago about Yae was the fact that the double electro thing with Fischl and Yae can really work, but at the time, once again, I didn't fully envisage how you could make it, what sort of other teammates could help. So it's something that I didn't really explore, and I think I should have explored a bit more. But now with Tighnari here, it's pretty cool. The trick to this final boss is once he goes into his invincibility state, you need to trigger the sort of quicken reaction, and then you can sort of knock him out of it without needing to destroy anything. So this final boss is such a pain because you have to play a team like this, like with Electro and Dendro, to sort of have like the best chance. Otherwise, like he just goes into invisible mode. Let's see if we can't find an example here of him going into invisible mode. Not yet. You should see it about right now. So here's just Yae doing Yae things. Once again, I'm not very good at this team. As you can see here, we're gonna sort of Yae's totems tell you where he is, and the moment I triggered that like E, with Tighnari, you sort of saw that we can immediately knock him out of his invulnerability state. So that's how you pretty much tackle this boss. And now we can just sort of hit him. This is always a tricky thing, like where's his head or where's the critical spot when he's like lying down. So once again, just emphasizing the fact that this is it doesn't look like it, but this is such a high skill team. Very satisfying. But yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised. Tighnari, pretty cool. Fischl and Yae working really well together. And that's about it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this more or less F2P clear. Let me know what you think, and of course there's still enough time on the clock. So yeah, as promised, even if we used another weapon, it really wouldn't have mattered. Cheers.